target. Maximum firepower.
Brace for impact!
Welcome to the Brace for Impact podcast, where we have show notes today.
We do have show notes today.
Yes, and we are doing a recording today. Obviously, there's a ton to talk about with the AMG news this week. We had a new YouTube video go up like a week ago. So we're going to try to cover all of that and get through that content for you guys. So we'll kick things off with our first segment, which is the match review. And we played a game, Black March versus Camino Defense Force. What did you think of this game?
This game was really fun. I really liked this match. It was meant to be fun. I built the list in a way that, used like Rebel ships that I liked and Rebel squadrons that I painted. So it wasn't like super try hard and trying to smash, but it performed pretty well, I think. Sato is just an amazingly fun Rebel commander.
Yeah, if there's one thing that Sato is, it's definitely fun.
On one shot, I rolled like 8 black dice with rerolls. That's fun.
Yeah, black dice are killer, man. You mentioned in the show notes here OPSEC.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
So, just securing the objective and how doing that can win you games. Like, at the start of round 1, you kind of cluster your forces a little bit, and then once I make my move, you immediately turn your acclimators away from the objective, and you're like, these are the engagement ships, these two CR-70s. All they're going to do is just drift around the volatile deposits and bank points. And points and points and points. Every round, points.
Yeah.
And so while I'm using, I would say, 90% of my fleet to kill 2 acclimators, you are just banking points with the CR-70s and taking down what you can with the acclimators, and then that's it. That's what changed the game, in my opinion. Because you got, 170 points of objective or victory points?
I did get a lot of victory points off of this objective for sure. And the concern that I had was that, my acclimators can't, they can't beat the MC-75 that well, and you could see that it basically, trades.
Yeah, 2 acclimators for an MC-75.
Both of them for the MC-75 basically get traded away.
Yeah.
Right. So I was kind of relying on them to draw your fire, to let the CR-70s kind of do their thing off to the side. Yeah. So in a lot of matches, I try to have 2 different subgroups of my list of like, okay, this group of things is doing one thing, this group of things is doing another thing. I think sometimes people try to focus maybe all of their fleet's attention on one thing, and it can be tricky, especially with larger base ships, to get everything kind of all together, and then they start ramming into each other and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What did you think of the fighters in this game? We both brought some squadrons.
We both brought a lot of squadrons, yeah. I think the new changes to Intel means that if you're making a fleet in Armada, you must have at least 50 points of squadrons.
Yeah.
You just can't cut it anymore with going all ships. It just can't work. And I know that might be a hot take for some people, but the effectiveness of Republic squadrons it needs an answer. You can't just have 400 points of ships with upgrades, and then you run into a whole slew of Republic squadrons with Navuta B and lose. And you lose hard.
Yeah.
You lose harder than you've ever lost before. Republic squadrons are the standard now, I think, for what you need to be concerned with when building a list and going to play a game.
Yeah. Like, how do I deal with, 3v19 Plo and Lumi, right?
3v19 Plo and Lumi, and look, there's Nabuta B. So all the V19s, now they just say, deal 1 damage to a ship when you activate.
Right.
They'll always do a damage, because they roll like a black die.
With a reroll.
With a reroll, so they'll do a damage to your ship. And you just can't go squadronless anymore.
Right.
Which I think is fine. I really like the squadron aspect of the game. Because before the intel change, you either take all squadrons or none.
Yeah.
Because if you have token squadrons, they're ignored and they're alive at the end of the game when your ship is destroyed. Now, when you have 50 points of squadrons, they have to cut through that. Like, intel giving grit is just not as good as intel giving heavy.
Right, obviously, yeah.
Obviously. And I mean, I think it makes the game better that way, because if you bring token squadrons at the end of the game, they're all dead, which is what you want.
Right, you want them to sacrifice their life for Pakistan.
Yeah, for Pakistan. Yeah. You want them to give their lives, sacrifice their lives. If at the end of the game, all of your squadrons are dead and you feel sad about that, count up how many shots from Arc 170s or V19s it took to kill those token squadrons.
Right.
That's how many ship damage you're mitigating by bringing them.
Exactly. You put in the show notes, going right when you should go left.
All right. What I'm specifically talking about is the early part of this match 14, where my MC-75 is in a situation. I have a debris field right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I can cut left and take the objectives, or I can go right, which is wrong.
Why is it wrong?
Because the way your acclimators are positioned at around 24 minutes in the video, you have them kind of off kilter. You've got one more forward and one more back.
Mm-hmm.
The way my MC-75 is positioned, if I turn right the way I do in the video, I double arc the front one, but I run right into the front arc of the second one.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it died.
Mm-hmm.
And I get no objective points.
Yeah.
But if I cut left, I still hit the debris field, obviously, but you can't get both guns on target because, I mean, acclimators are shit at turning. So you'd either run into your other acclimator,
yeah,
which you probably wouldn't do. So you'd either slow it down, and then it's not as much a problem.
Right.
I'm not taking 2 acclimator shots per turn. I get objective points, maybe kill one of the CR-70s, maybe kill the other one, and then I still have a good angle on the front acclimator.
Yeah, the MC-75 has so many angles that are good angles for it.
Yeah.
Right. If you're in the side arc, that's great. If you're in the front arc, that's also great. If you're in both,
you die. You fucking die.
Yeah.
So I think I took a wrong turn in thirsting for a double arc on the acclimator's front arc when I could have just done the same thing on the other side while also getting objective points.
Yeah. So you cut right, take out an acclimator, trade 1 for 1 on the other acclimator.
Yep.
Then it kind of boils down to a couple CR-70s, a flotilla, and a hammerhead. Or I'm sorry, a flotilla and a CR-90.
I think I get like 1 objective point, and then it's over. Nothing else happens significantly in the game. It was a really good game. Volatile, I think, is that the first time we've played Volatile Deposits?
It might be, yeah.
That's a cool objective.
It definitely is. I enjoy it a lot.
I think if someone picks it and they don't know what the goal of the objective is, you can get an insane amount of points. If they place the asteroid like in the center and not way out in right field like I did, then you can just bully them off of the obstacles and get a shitload.
Yeah.
Shitload of objective points.
Yeah, I think you were the one who placed these objectives kind of in the corners.
Yeah, because
these obstacles here.
I was like, I can't decide where I'm going to be. I can't control the board, so I'm just going to remove that objective from the game.
Right.
So now you only have 2, so your maximum amount of points is like
Less.
200.
Yeah.
Which is still a fucking lot.
Yeah.
But that was my thinking. I probably should have brought it closer to me so that while I was moving forward, I was getting some objective points.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, fun match. Good game.
it was fun.
You ready to talk about some news?
I'm ready to talk about some fucking news. I'm so hyped for these Wave 11 ships. Not just for the ships, but also for the upgrade cards and some of the implication that they bring.
The implication.
Because of the implication, man.
Okay, well, do you want to roll into the Providence first?
I do. I really want to talk about the Providence. I cannot comprehend how amazing just the model of Providence looks.
Yeah, it's freaking baller.
It's so detailed. It's another one of those ships that's just so incredibly detailed, it's like unnecessarily detailed. And the paint job and the decals, it's all amazing. Barring that, it follows a trend we've been seeing with the Clone Wars ships, which is 1 ship, 2 commanders. So we got Admiral Trench and General Grievous.
Iconic commanders.
Iconic commanders. Grievous is, I think, really good. Really, really good. But not for the reason you think. Essentially, when a friendly ship or squadron is destroyed, choose 1 friendly ship or unique squadron at distance 1 to 5 your destroyed ship or squadron. If you do, the chosen ship or unique squadron can either ready 1 of its defense tokens or recover 1 of its discarded defense tokens and then exhaust that token. That's really good.
Why is it good?
Well, it helps with fighter screens for your big carrier ship. So if they're trying to punch through and get to your hull and your Providence with your Arc 170s, if your Providence has already taken some hits, you've already used a brace because it's got brace, redirect, contain salvo, then you can make it last longer without burning the brace.
Because you're refreshing it by
sacrificing the vulture droids. So if they do want to do a bombing run on your Providence, they got to cut through your vultures and your tokens back.
I think it gives you 2 options. One is if the Providence is relatively safe, right, a little bit hanging back, you can more liberally spend your defense tokens where you would normally be thinking about saving them for when they're more important.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, vultures are going to die near me, right? That is happening. So
I mean, it's a distance 1 to 5.
Right. So that's basically everywhere, right?
Yeah.
That's like boosty comms range. So like I just bring like 10 vulture droids and I'm like, oh, as they die, like I really want to refresh 10 tokens throughout this game, right? So maybe I'm going to spend my salvo, maybe an arc gets near me and I salvo it back, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. It's going to refresh, right? Like,
but also another benefit General Grievous has is he's 20 points.
Very cheap.
Very cheap. I think that's the baseline for commanders is 20 points.
They don't really go lower than that.
You don't get commanders lower than 20 points. Because a lot of the problem I've had is I want to run a lot of ships, but once you get to a certain point, you can't really add anymore.
Yeah.
And so having Grievous at 20 instead of 30 means I can add an 8th vulture.
Yep.
It's not bad. Let's talk about the second commander, Admiral Trench. Don't ever do that. But... So he's 36 points.
Yeah, he's expensive.
He's as expensive as Vader. So just take that with what you will. He starts with 4 command dials, and at the start of each ship phase, you may reveal and discard 1 command dial from this card, kind of like Thrawn. If you do, at the end of the round, when a friendly ship spends only a matching command token to resolve a command, that ship resolves that command as if it had spent a dial and token of the same type instead. Boom.
It's nuts.
He's insane. 4 rounds of the game. So you spend round 1 and 2 banking all your tokens. Providence has, command 3.
Okay. So like,
It's so
like
good.
you're talking about like munitions resupply the whole fleet, right?
And
on
then,
turn 1.
Yeah, and then
right?
bank a token.
And then bank a nav token, right? And then like, yeah.
And then Admiral Trench is just one of those commanders that makes your ships more effective.
Uh-huh.
Much better. Way better than even Thrawn. I mean, there is the restriction that you need the command token. I mean, Thrawn doesn't care about command tokens. He just gives you the dial.
Right.
But you discard that command token, and you get the dial and the token.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredibly good.
Requires planning and forethought into the future rounds. Right? You need to know what you're doing every round of the game at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, kinda.
If you want, you got to have your tokens, and then reveal the matching dial, and then spend them, and then you got to have tokens for the next round, right? Like,
yeah, but like, let's say I've got double Providence
mm-hmm.
and like a hard sell.
Mm-hmm.
Hard sell, Hondo, CompsNet.
Yeah, they're gonna have tokens.
They're gonna have the fucking tokens. So I just think this is so amazingly good. Before we go on, let's talk about actually the platform of the Providence class Dreadnought, the Providence class carrier.
Okay.
So it's got home 1 arcs, which is essentially corner to corner.
Mm-hmm.
The Dreadnought has a salvo of red, blue, black, which is awesome. Side arcs of
so does the carrier.
So does the carrier. It's got triple red, blue, and double black on the sides, and then -1 red on the front also.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So it's got 2 red, a blue, and 2 black on the front for the Dreadnought.
Oh yeah. And then the carrier swaps out a red for a blue on the side.
So it's got 2, 2, and 2 on the side.
And then on the front, it's the same.
Okay.
So basically, in terms of guns, like you're just 1 less red on the side, and instead it's a blue.
Yeah. But I mean, it's such a cool ship. I love how good the arcs are.
Yep.
On all the Separatist ships. They're so amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
I got no funky like ISD arcs on my ships. It feels so good. Providence Dreadnought comes with officer, gunnery teams, offensive retrofit, ordnance, ion, and double turbo laser for 105 points.
Yeah.
Double turbo laser.
That's strong.
Fucking amazing. 3 command, 4 squadron, 4 engineering. This is just like the flagship's flagship.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so amazing. This is just going to do everything you want. And double. Oh, wait. Does the Dreadnought have. The Dreadnought just has 1 blue anti squadron. So not really good for squadron. But the carrier has double black, which is pretty good. And it's got fleet command and defensive retrofit on the carrier. And it doesn't have double turbo laser. So obviously the carrier is your squadron pusher.
Yeah. But also more of a centerpiece of a fleet where, it's got the option of a real fleet command. It's got, less offensive capability. So it's hanging back and maybe you've got more invested in your squadron ball and that kind of stuff. Whereas the Dreadnought is going to run in and try to murder.
I think running 2 of these is that's just a good idea. You're on 1 carrier, 1 Dreadnought.
Yeah, they're good.
Open your wallets, everyone. Buy 2.
What about some of these other cards in here?
Okay, so the next one I got on the list is Shumai.
Okay.
After deploying fleets, you may place 2 non-consecutive round tokens on this card. You can choose, that's amazing. During each round, matching one of those tokens while attacking a ship, you may re-roll up to 3 dice. 4 points.
Basically, cheap as fuck.
So good.
It's
3
round
dice is a lot.
3 and 5, right?
How many times do you whiff more than 3 die?
Often. I mean, I often whiff all my dice. But
Yeah, but I mean, God, that's so good. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll choose rounds 2 and 4. Thank you. That's easy. 2 and 4 every time.
2?
2.
No, 3 and 5. But go ahead.
I want to attack. That's the plan. She's amazing. It's like, I think Shumai is like a B card.
Okay.
She's a B for sure. But if you want to see some S class shittery right here, it's TI-99. While a friendly unactivated squadron is at distance 1 to 3, it gains counter 3, or if it has the printed counter keyword, it gains an additional counter 1. After it performs a counterattack, toggle its activation slider to activated side. 4 points.
So it gives up its activation to counter.
Counter 3.
But if it's already activated, it can still counter.
No.
What?
No. After it performs a counter, so like...
It's activated. It can't move and shoot, but it can still counter. If like 3 things shoot it, it counter 3, counter 3, counter 3.
No.
Yes.
While a friendly unactivated squadron.
Oh.
So you can counter once with counter 3.
Well, that's good.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Like if you've got hella vultures, that's like they're activated by AI.
Right.
I mean, you don't get blue, black, black, but I mean, it's something.
Right. It's solid.
And you get to choose whether or not to do it. It's not forced on you. It's only 4 points. Look, put this on a hard sell transport. They got double officer, TI-99, and then you're good. It's
interesting because like sometimes your vultures die doing nothing.
Exactly.
And this makes sure that they do something.
And like if they have a Jedi roll up on you and it's got triple hits, and you're like, oh, my vulture is dead. TI-99 is like, no, you can counter 3.
Yeah.
Counter 3, just
do it.
Just activated it, and it's gonna die anyway.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, Tikis is weird.
Why?
He's just a weird card. He says, when you reveal a command, you may place a matching command token on this card. If you do, gain a command token of your choice. During the command phase, if you have a command token on this card, you must choose that command on each command dial that is to be assigned to you. Show those dials to your opponent. Then discard that command token.
He's getting something now.
And paying for it later.
Paying for it later.
Yeah. So he is like, and he's 2 points. I don't know if I said that, but he essentially is like an informant where he gives you a benefit and then tells your opponent what you're doing.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you have a stack and you're like, oh yeah, I'll just get an engineering command. I don't have engineering commands on my 3 stack, so it doesn't matter. No, now you're telling your opponent you don't have engineering commands.
Right.
So they know you're probably not going to get that ECM back. You're not going to refresh your Commander Wolf or whatever.
Right.
It will tell your opponent what's on your stack, for sure. I don't know.
But what about like on a 1-command ship? It seems really good. Right? He's like, hey, I'm concentrating now. I get the reroll as well, and next turn I'm concentrating again. You know, like no big deal.
I guess that is really good. I guess for lower command ships, yeah.
Or ships where you fucking know what you're gonna do, right? Like, hey, this is my Providence carrier, and I've got a dozen squadrons to activate. Guess what it's doing every round? Yeah. Squadron. I don't care that you know. Try and stop me. Now I'm activating an extra squadron every turn. For 2 points.
That is really good.
Yeah. Him an expanded hangar bay, and suddenly you've got like 6 activation Providence carrier.
Really good. That is really good. Really, really good.
Or, you know, they see him on there and they assume what you're going to do, but you mix it up and you don't use him, right? Like that could be an option as well. All right, we got the last card here for the invisible hand that's been spoiled. Which is the title.
This is the best. This is the best shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
Why?
Well, first off, it gives you deployment advantage. So, while deploying fleets, if you are in the play area, so Invisible Hand has to be, deployed already. When you would deploy a squadron with Swarm, you may set that squadron aside next to your ship card instead. So you place 2 vultures for deployment, and then they get set aside.
Mm-hmm.
You may set aside up to 5 squadrons this way. And then Squadron Command, for each squadron you would activate with this command, you may place 1 of your set-aside squadrons within distance 3. It cannot move this activation. And if it has AI, increase its AI value by 1.
So this card is a better version of Rapid Launch Phase.
Yes.
It's better in the fact that it preserves your activation or your deployment advantage,
Yes.
whereas Rapid Launch Phase damages your deployment advantage. And then also, when you deploy, your ships do more damage than normal.
Your squadrons do more damage.
Right,
than normal. Yeah, because if they have AI, increase their AI by 1.
Right.
But activating them gives them AI, so they, instead of your vultures attacking with 3 dice, now they're attacking with 4 dice.
Right.
It's so amazing. And it's a title card, so it's not taking up the offensive retrofit slot, which means you can have Rapid Launch Phase as well.
Yep.
And load up 9 squadrons.
Yep. You can
in Invisible Hand, and then Invisible Hand them every turn.
Yep.
You're just slinging vultures and tri-fighters downfield. Look, the distance that you can hit with Invisible Hand is massive. You can hit into long range.
Can Invisible Hand take the upgrade that lets it activate squadrons after it moves?
The Officer Flight Commander? Yeah, it has the Officer slot. So yes. It's insane. The range is ridiculous. Invisible Hand goes speed 3.
Mm-hmm.
Uses Flight Commander to activate squadrons at the end of its activation.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're slinging tri-fighters and vultures at
distance 3,
medium, which is medium range, and then they get to attack at distance 1, which is beyond medium range.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do 5 vultures, you're slinging 5 red dice at such a massive distance. You can hit anything. That's not even saying like the amount of damage like 5 loaded up tri-fighters would do to any squadron anywhere on the board. There's no escape. It's you drop 5 tri-fighters and they roll 5 die of hell, all the colors, because tri-fighters, at least the named ones, have red, blue, black. So you're rolling 2 black, 1 blue, and a red.
Well, don't they get +1 AI?
Yeah, well, they roll red, blue, black natively.
Yeah.
Then AI 1, so black. So it would be
3 black.
3 black.
A blue and a red.
A blue and a red. So, okay. Show me a squadron that can take that. Nothing. It's 9 points.
It is expensive.
It is expensive, but I'm going to have that in goddamn every single list. It's everything that I want to do. So we're going to go to the Venator now.
Ooh.
So that we can talk some Republic stuff.
All right. So the Venator 2 is a very interesting ship. It's got Star Destroyer arcs, but not as powerful as like an ISD. Like
following the same trend that the Acclimators do with the Victory, where
right.
it's like 1 die weaker,
right,
on the front.
Well, 2 on the front weaker.
2 on the front weaker. Ooh.
So ISD 2 is 8. Right?
Yeah.
So it has less of its investment into guns, but more of its investment into squadron firepower.
Yeah.
And one of the things I thought about a lot with the Venator 2 was like, hey man, like, yeah, it can't roll its front arc. If it was just rolling its front arc against an ISD, like it would lose that fight, right? It has a couple less hull, a couple less die. It's got kind of the same shields, but the fact is it can activate 5 squadrons. And some of these cards really make those squadrons quite powerful.
Dude, 5 that's an SSD's amount of squadrons. Like nothing activates 5 squadrons.
Nothing. Yeah, that's true. And Rapid Launch Base gets better with your higher squadron value, right? Because you can activate however many you can activate and dump that many.
True. We're talking about Rapid Launch Base a lot. I think that card is great.
It's getting really
insane.
So we'll start with Luminara, which is one of the commanders that comes with the Venator. Luminara is when a friendly ship or unique squadron is defending after the spend defense token step. If it spent fewer than 2 defense tokens, it can ready one that it did not spend, or choose a nearby friendly ship at distance 1 to 5 and ready one of that ship's defense tokens. This is nuts. Right?
It was 25 points.
Yeah, not that expensive. It's pretty cheap.
It's pretty cheap, yeah.
Because I think 26 points were the cost of the Bail and Obi-Wan, right?
Is it? I thought they were 30.
No, I think they're 26. Anyway, really cool because your unique squadrons can be not spending their defense tokens to refresh their ship nearby, and vice versa.
28.
28. Okay, so a little bit cheaper. Luminara also, like, there's just so much. There's so much.
Well, let me ask you this: how many unique squadrons do you normally play with?
Well, 3.
3.
Yeah.
But you can have a max of 4 unique squadrons.
Yeah.
They a lot of the time come with
Scatter.
double brace.
Oh, or scatter brace.
Scatter brace, or evade brace with axe.
Right.
How many times a game do you just use 1 squadron defense token?
Pretty much always.
Pretty much always. One of them's accuracy, the other isn't. You spend that one.
Or it's 2 braces and you can only spend 1.
Now Luminar is telling you that whenever you're just using squadrons normally, when they spend, that 1 defense token that they would normally spend, or none, I guess none is also...
Yeah, 2 fewer than 2. If it spent fewer than 2.
Oh,
which is 0.
So if you get double accuracy on a squadron and do some significant damage to it, they still ready a ship's defense token. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And also, unique squadron doesn't mean it has to have defense tokens. So if we get like a campaign pack where we get like Dagger Squadron or Rogue Squadron, unique squadrons that don't have defense tokens inherently.
Yep.
That
is every time they get shot at.
Is every time they just get shot at, you're refreshing defense tokens. Yep. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely insane.
These commanders, or at least the Jedi commanders, seem insane.
Yeah, she's insane. So yeah, that's definitely going to be something I'm going to be experimenting with. And then we have, this was just revealed the other day, Plo Koon. This is the first thing I'm putting on a Venator, like day 1 out of the box. Like, I'm stapling him to the Venator. While a friendly squadron is attacking a ship that's at distance 1 to 3 of a friendly ship, the attacker can add a blue die set to an accuracy icon to its attack pool. That die cannot be rerolled or changed. Do you know what guarantees that there's a friendly ship within 1 to 3 of the enemy ship? Rapid launch base.
We're talking about rapid launch base.
This is the rapid launch base podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Rapid launch base. Well, the thing is, rapid launch base with the changes to Intel actually has a use now.
Right.
Because before you would just run your bombers with an Intel ship and they would always be able to get on target.
Right.
Now your slow bombers, your ARCs, your Anakins. Well, Anakin doesn't really care about being tied down, but you can just boost speed 3 over your opponent's squadrons and then drop them. You don't have to worry about speed 5 interceptors. You don't have to worry about shit. The amount of bombers you're taking is significantly less due to that because you just can't fly 10 bombers anymore. They just get locked down.
But I can with 2 Venators now.
Yeah, don't talk to me about that.
They can rapid launch base 5 each.
No. Don't go away. Go away. Stop. Oh.
There's 10 arcs.
Oh, fuck.
I don't even know if 10 arcs will fit. They're too expensive. How much is an arc?
The maximum amount of squadrons
is 130.
The maximum amount of squadrons that Republican field, I think, is 11.
But it's not arcs. It's
not arcs. It is V19s. Let me see. Yeah, because V19s are your cheapest, and they're 12. And yeah, it's 11 squadrons is the most that any Republican fleet can
But how much is an arc?
An arc is 15.
Okay, so you can't run 10, but you can run 8.
You can run 8.
Okay.
But with some of the other upgrade cards, you just need 1 Venator for that.
I mean, I'm not even done with Plo Koon yet because, like,
we're not even done with Plo Koon.
Let's say you just have 5. Let's just say you have 5 arcs in Plo Koon, right? And you rapid launch base them, right? They're all getting an accuracy, and then probably crit hit, right? Because hello,
crit hit,
yeah. That's
that by itself is worth the 26 points,
right? That's 10 damage to a ship before the Venator shoots.
With the accuracy, so they can't even brace.
It's 10 damage. If you lock down the brace every single time, I mean, I don't even know if you would be doing that because, like, maybe you just want them to fucking spend it so that the Venator shoots and it's not there anymore.
But then if you've got let's say clone gunners on the Venator,
Hmm.
and then you steal, and then
You
you
steal a
accuracy that brace again, and then
Well,
it's
the
dead.
ship is gone.
The ship is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it says friendly squadron.
Because you're describing this scenario, and I'm like, okay, so the ISD is probably dead. That's what I go to. There's nothing else that would survive that volley.
Right.
I don't even know if the ISD would.
Well,
I
a full health ISD probably would, depending on the crits, because it has 4 shields and then 10 health, so it'll probably survive, right? But the Venator still gets to shoot,
yeah.
right? So it's crazy. But then it also says friendlies. Oh, and you can't reroll the accuracy; it's locked, right?
Yeah.
Friendly squadrons without adept gain grid if they're a distance 1 of a friendly squadron with adept, right? So if you have a Jedi there, all of these arcs are like
it basically says that all Jedi now have intel.
Yeah.
The new intel, where intel gives grid, but that's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Because what are the chances? How many of those arcs that you're dropping on the field intentionally in that location are going to be locked down when you rapid launch phase? Obviously, we're all talking about rapid launch phase here, but this is fine without rapid launch phase as well.
I don't know. Rapid launch phase seems really good.
This is fine.
The thing with that is, how many times do you have a couple ships, 3 enemy squadrons, attacking your huge 5 arc ball? Now you've got Luminara or Ahsoka there, so they all have grid. You just have to kill 2 of them now, and then you can just go back to attacking ships. It's insane. Yeah, and if we have any problem with that, the Venator 2 has blue-black flak. So good. We'll move on from Plo Koon because this could be the Plo Koon podcast, but we're going to move on to his commander, which is Clone Commander Wolf, who says, let's take this up to the next level. Let's push this harder, right? Squadron command is required to activate him, or squadron token, and it's exhaust. If you exhaust him, up to 3 squadrons that you activate that don't have adept, which is your arcs, right? They gain assault until the end of the activation. And each squadron that you activate with assault can spend a hit or accuracy icon. No. Each squadron that you activate with the printed assault keyword. What's your point? He's giving them assault. No, printed. So arcs don't come with assault. Oh. Nothing comes with assault right now. So that means what? We're getting... No, that's not what that means. That's what that means? No, that's not what that means. Okay, what does salvo mean? Salvo is printed on there. Right? Oh, God, I do not want that. Right here. Okay. Gain swarm. Okay. Each squadron that you activate with the printed assault keyword. So you're saying that they're putting this card out and one of his bullet points does nothing? Right now. I don't think that's what they're doing. Yes. That's the way that salvo works. Salvo says you use your printed rear arc armament to avoid things like spinal armament increasing your salvo. Okay? What this is saying is giving us a little hint. It's saying that lats are coming, and they're coming with assault. Okay? When you get them, they can spend a die with a hit or accuracy to assault. So your lats are going to be always assaulting 100%. Because right now it's only crits. Right now it's only hits. So not 100%. Kanan is the only one that has crit assault, which is amazing. Okay, I'm going to just say that that's correct for now and move forward. Because I don't know if that's what they're doing with this card. Ahsoka. 6 points. Pretty good deal. Ahsoka, 6 points. Oh, she's more expensive. Yeah, you're right. Squadron command, each of up to 3 non-unique squadrons that you activate can snipe 1 for each die in their anti-squadron armor, up to snipe 3 until the end of its activation. So she gives 3 ships snipe 3 because there's, only the Y-Wings, I think, have less than 3 anti-squadron die, right? So you're not doing this with Y-Wings. So this is really good. It's so good. I would actually say that it's still good on Y-Wings because then if your Y-Wings aren't in position to bomb, now they have snipe 2 and they don't have to engage. Yeah, she's really good. And she's really good because, and you mentioned this to me earlier, is it gives you the option of what to do, right? If your V19s are tied up with something, maybe the target that they want is a little farther away and they can ignore escort and snipe it. Yeah. They can
ignore counter and snipe it, right? Or you can just roll your standard armament if none of that is going to matter this round, right? Like, and you can save your 3 activations of snipe for someone else, right? I mean, especially if she's on a vendor, you have 5 activations, dude. Like, you're fine.
Yeah.
3 of them, you could do snipe if you wanted to not get countered, or you wanted to shoot out of your range, or you wanted to focus on a target that was being escorted. Like, all of those things suddenly become part of your reality.
And look, like, let's talk about arcs, because arcs are slow. They want to keep moving.
Mhm.
They don't want to get tied up.
Mhm.
You've got 3 arcs. Now your 3 arcs have snipe 3. They can do some squadron damage while they're moving past them.
Right.
They're moving forward. There's some to the right. Snipe 3, snipe 3, snipe 3.
Right.
Move forward.
Yeah.
It's great. They don't have to worry about being engaged or not doing enough damage. It's just do some attacks and then move. Ahsoka is amazing.
Yeah. I'm glad because I want to play her, but I don't think her squadron card is that good. So
now we're going to go to the Recusant class, Light Destroyer and Support Destroyer.
back to the set piece.
This is my favorite ship of all time.
I haven't even played it yet.
Don't tell me what I can and can't like. I like this ship so much. It has the most bizarre arcs I've ever seen on a ship. It looks like a disaster submarine. And it's going to play like one too. Because it's got fucking 4 black, 2 black, 4 red on the front, 3 red and a black on the side, and then it's got salvo red black for the Light Destroyer. And that is so fucking good. I'll just take that, and it's great. It's going to be so good. The Light Destroyer comes with Officer, Gunnery Team, Offensive, Ordnance, and Turbo Laser. That's not so exciting. Evade, Brace, Redirect, Salvo. That's pretty good. And then it's got triple 3s all the way down. 3 Command, 3 Squadron, 3 Engineering. But it's the support destroyer that I really like.
Why?
Really, really like. It replaces a lot of the blacks with blues. It gets an additional die out the front, I think. No, it just changes some blues. It's got one of my favorite setups. It's got gunnery teams and double offensive retrofit, which means that you can put boarding troopers and rapid launch bays on it.
Mm.
This is a rapid launch base podcast.
Yes.
Oh, also, these ships are 85 and 90 points.
They're super cheap.
They are medium base costed, and they're large ass ships.
That's true.
I'll take 4.
And their I really like their defense tokens too.
Mm-hmm.
Evade, Brace, Redirect, Salvo. Like, that's so good,
so
right?
Good.
Right? A large base ship with an evade? Like, get the fuck out of here.
I mean, it is a large base like type ship, but it's more of a medium base.
What do you mean?
I mean, the cost, the shields. I mean, the hull is 8. I mean,
No.
Interdictors have 8 hull.
MC80s have 8 hull. MC80s have 8 hull. Okay.
Okay.
It's literally like 3
Interdictors have 9 hull.
medium base.
Medium base. Interdictors have 3/2/2. I mean, this just has 2 extra shields on the sides.
But look at the dice. The dice does not scream medium base to me.
You might be right.
Like a Assault Frigate Mark II is like 4 dice on the side, 2 on the front. Like, this guy's got a full fistful of dice more than an Assault Frigate.
It does. It's so good.
So let's talk about their commanders.
So, I think out of all the commanders, this is my favorite. Martuk.
Mm.
He's 28 points, and he says, while a friendly ship is attacking, the defending hull zone has at least 1 shield remaining. The attacker adds 1 red die to the attack pool. Oof. So you're hitting hard right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Before any upgrades add red die or any concentrate fires, it's like, you are starting the game and now I'm at an advantage. Then he says, while a friendly ship is attacking a ship that has no shields remaining, after rolling attack die, the attacker must cancel 1 attack die. Die is so good. Let me ask you this. How many times have you destroyed a ship that had absolutely no shields left.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
But a lot of times, no.
But a lot of times, no. Like, you completely depleted the rear and the far side hull zones of shields. No. Now, let's say, how many times have you killed a ship with no shields remaining when you're using XI7s?
Never.
Never.
Yeah. This guy basically...
It's so good!
Basically what you're saying is you put XI7 on your ship and you negate the downside of this guy. Yeah.
And then you run your recusant with an officer like Shumai.
Yep.
So you've got your rerolls. And there you go.
Now, if the defending hull zone has no shields remaining, you don't get the benefit.
You do. The defending hull zone is not what matters.
Yes, it is. If the defending hull zone has at least one shield remaining, you can add a die.
Well, Martuk has 3 states. He has the benefit, the neutral, and then the negative.
Right.
But you're essentially never dealing with the negative.
Right.
You only go to neutral because how much fucking damage are you going to do? They have no shields anywhere?
Right.
It's so good.
Yeah. That's 28 points to be basically concentrate fire all the time.
And then concentrate for a second one. Boost your concentrate, so good.
Yeah, do
This is my favorite commander.
roll up with 3 recusants with spinals and concentrate fire in him, and they're rolling 7 red.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even have to roll up. I'll just drift away, and then like it's like 21 reds a turn from one arc, right?
From one arc, yeah.
Yeah. And then they have the weirdest like front arc, so you're gonna get the double arc. It's gonna be so good. I think I need 3 recusants. I'm gonna go hard on this wave, dude. Okay, so the next officer is Pascal Argente.
Argente.
He has, when you reveal a command, you may place a matching command token on this card. Then, if you have at least one of each type on this card, you may gain 1 additional command dial of your choice for 6 points.
What do you think of this?
I thought he was absolute trash, but I was talking to someone about how he works. Because I thought he would only work at turn 5 and 6. But when you place the command token on the 4th turn, he will work.
Mm-hmm.
So 4, 5, and 6, you get double command dials. You've got to kind of fix your command dials. So turns 1 through 4, you're doing
one of each.
One of each. It's fine. Pascal really emphasizes a certain play style where he says, you do not want to engage on turns 1 to 3.
Right.
You want to wait. You want to hold back. You want to be going speed 1. And then on turns 4, 5, and 6, you get the bonus of double command dials. Like if you're running Pascal Argente with Trench, you're getting 3 command dials. And one of them is boosted, from Trench. So I don't know if you've played games where you have 2 command dials, but it feels so good. Yeah. You do so much damage. You recover all your shields. It's everything. You get to do everything. I think he will be okay. I think he'll be okay.
Okay.
I'll run him. I'll see what he does. It's fine. Seems good.
What about Sandhill?
Sandhill is cool. He's cool. He's cheap. He comes with 2 squadron command tokens. And at the start of the squadron phase, you may discard any number of tokens on this card. For each token you discard this way, 1 additional squadron at close long range of you may be activated during each of your fleet's turns to activate squadrons this phase.
Right. So if you discard both tokens, then that round of the game, you activate 4 squadrons per cycle of the squadron phase.
Which is wild.
It's a big benefit in the squadron phase to have initiative like that.
I think Sandhill's really good, but I think he might be incredible alongside Hyperwave Signal Boost.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you slam in everything, hopefully it all survives, and then on the next round, when everything's already in position to destroy a bunch of squadrons, you just chuck both of Sandhill's tokens away, and you use Hyperwave Signal Boost. And I think on the Providence, that would be 4 plus the 2. 4, and then, so it would be like 8 squadrons that you would activate first. Even if you're second player. Because I believe that Hyperwave Signal Boost happens at the start of the squadron phase. which would make it your turn to activate squadrons,
Yeah.
which Sandhill would. So you would do 8 all at once, and then you would do 4.
It's really powerful, but I'm the type of person who's activating my squadrons during the ship phase, in which case he does nothing.
Yes.
In which case he does nothing.
It's a really particular card, but I don't think he's so costed to where you have to do that to make him useful.
Yeah.
You can also just do it to where you're activating 1 more squadron for 2 rounds of the game, which is fine. And he's only 3 points. I mean, if you've got an extra officer slot.
It's also a very competitive slot, right? Like
it's a super competitive slot, but like, I mean, I would use him. He seems fine. But I mean, you also need like a hell of squadrons. But
are you ready to talk about Apelta?
I'm ready to talk about the fucking problem. The problem child of this whole wave.
This ship was going to be a single purchase for me, but I think now I need to get 2.
At least 2.
It's well, yeah. I mean, first of all, they're so cheap, right? They're like 40 points.
45,
43 points, right? They're basically priced not like a Pelta from the Rebels, but like a CR70 or CR90 from the Rebels, right? Like, whoa, like, yeah. So there's a medical frigate and the transport frigate, right? And the medical frigate is they're both just like 1 die less on the front than the Rebel Pelta, right? 3 on the front, 2 on the sides. Double red though. If you could get this guy a salvo, would be pretty cool.
Well, doesn't one come? One comes with a defensive retrofit, so you can put reactive gunnery on it.
Yep.
And then it's like
the
double red is one of the best salvos.
Yeah. And then the medical frigate has an offensive retrofit, and that's basically the only difference between them. They both can take the fleet support, and those support teams, and the officer slot. What they get really interesting though is the cards that they bring to the table. So we're going to go through them real quick. We're going to start with you, Lauren, because this is the one I'm excited about. 24 points.
I got Tarkin up there first.
I know, I don't care about Tarkin. I care about you, Lauren. Okay. He's the cheapest.
Lauren is going to be a huge problem.
He's the cheapest Republic commander.
At 24 points.
When a friendly ship resolves a squadron command, if it spent a token, it can activate an additional squadron. Okay, so remember your crisis in your brain about the Venator? The Venator with expanded hangar bay can activate how many squadrons?
With expanded hangar bay, it can activate 7.
Actually 8 with you, Lauren.
Which, as we've gone over, if you have only V19s, the maximum amount of squadrons a Republic can have is 11. Mm-hmm. So if you take like 1 ace, you're really at like 8 squadrons, you know?
You can activate your entire squadron ball in 1 punch off of a single Venator with Yularen.
Are you trying to tell me that Admiral Yularen is the 1 punch man?
Yes. This is the meme ship.
This is the meme ship, where it just takes all 8 squadrons and throws them at you all at once. This is a problem for me, because the problem with squadrons, and you know, the biggest hurdle to overcome is how much damage they can do in small amounts in 1 round.
Yep. In one activation.
In 1 activation.
No.
So he negates the opportunity for the opponent to activate their ship and use an engineering command to get shields back, because they're attacking so many squadrons at once.
Right. One thing that we've learned, with like last firsting as well, is the more damage that you can do between the ship's first activation and second activation, mm-hmm. right, or third and fourth or whatever, in between the activations of a single ship, how much damage can you do? Is like, that is how you delete a large ship really easily, right?
Anything really easily. It's just large ships are the hardest ones to kill.
But that's not all he does. When a friendly ship, any friendly ship, anywhere on the board, there's no range restriction to this, resolves an engineering command, it may spend engineering points on the following repair effect, which is called Repair Squadron. Spend 2 points to choose a friendly squadron at distance 1 to 3. That squadron recovers a hull point. So on a Pelta with 4 engineering, right? We talked about this. At 4 engineering, let's say you have 2 Peltas, right? You could recover 4 health on a squadron that's within medium range of both of them.
Well,
It would 2 and then 2.
No,
Yes.
because you take parts resupply. You activate 1 Pelta. You parts resupply. So now, within the double activation of the Pelta, you're recovering actually 6 hull on a squadron. Or 6 hull spread out.
Right.
Whichever
Over multiple
way you choose.
squadrons.
Which, its restriction is distance 1 to 3, thank God. But this is one of those commanders that is going to be a huge issue to deal with and needs to be addressed whenever you're making lists, whenever you're going somewhere to play a game. You have to think about, what if they have Yularen and Ahsoka officer? Because the problem with that is now you don't need to throw your squadrons beyond close medium.
Right.
Because you just keep them close to Yularen, you keep them close to the Peltas, and now Ahsoka allows them, let's say you have B-19s or ARCs, they're within the repair field of 1 to 3, but now they can attack distance 1 to 2 with Snipe from Ahsoka. So now they've just got a huge range that they can be safe.
You know what's also crazy?
What?
Using clone nav officer to generate additional tokens on let's say one of the Peltas has clone nav officer, right? He's giving squadron tokens to the other ship, so now a Pelta can activate 4 squadrons with Yularen.
The Pelta Medical Frigate has an offensive retrofit.
It could do 5.
It could do 5.
Yeah. But you'd put boost on. No, you wouldn't, because you want to be in range 3 anyway, right? You'd put
the ability for a single Pelta to
a
throw
45-point Pelta.
Well, at that point, it wouldn't be 45. It would just need to have expanded hangar bay, and it can throw 5 squadrons.
Well, it starts with 2.
I know, but with a token and expanded hangar bay, that's 50 points for a 5 squadron
5.
pushing.
That is 5 with
medical frigate.
Yeah, but you need, what I'm saying with clone nav officer though is like that's generating the additional squadron tokens for you. Yeah, you could put Ahsoka on one and clone nav officer on the other so that they have the tokens that they need.
Just imagine, like, I don't know, that seems really, really good.
It does seem really good.
I think Yularen is super interesting. I think he's extremely strong, but I like the kind of play style that he's emphasizing, where, you know, keep your squadrons close, I'll repair them, but you can push more of them. The Venator will just be able to push all of them.
Yep.
Put the medical frigates in if they need to repair. It's very
medical
cool.
frigates can take bomber command center too.
Fuck off. God.
It's going to be so great.
Like one medical frigate with bomber command center, the other with parts resupply. It's over.
Yep.
I think he's a very interesting commander, though. I think he's very strong for his cost, however.
Yeah, he's very strong. All right, the other commander is Tarkin, Admiral Tarkin, in his Republic outfit here. At the start of... Oh, he has six command dials on him.
Six command dials.
At the start of each ship phase, you may discard one command... Oh, they're command tokens. Okay. You may discard one command token from this card. If you do, either you gain one matching command dial, or each friendly ship gains a matching command token.
Yeah, so the U in this is referring to the ship that Tarkin is on.
Right.
So you either be greedy and you take a matching command dial, or each friendly ship gains one matching command token.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's good. It's 30 points.
It is fine.
It's fine. It's a little flexible, more flexible than Grand Moff Tarkin, because Moff Tarkin is like only tokens.
Right. So this is like, hey, if you have one really strong ship, like every round, double dials.
Yeah.
If you want. Or if you have a bunch of ships, hey, we're getting tokens everywhere. Which is also really good.
It's also really good.
He just doesn't get me hype like Yularen does.
Yularen is a different level.
All right, we're going to look at the second meme card here. Clone Captain Silver. Hi-ho Silver away. When you execute him so he's an officer and he has a nav token on him.
I like the uniformity of all of these clone captain cards and clone commander cards. They always have single tap, and they come with a token that allows it to refresh.
Yeah, they're cool. When you execute a maneuver during your determined course step, if you have not resolved a nav command, you may exhaust this card to increase or decrease your speed by up to 3. If you do, you cannot resolve a nav command during this activation. So first of all, this doesn't make sense on a Pelta.
No, because they can
even though it came with the Pelta, that's fine. This is actually a card that goes on
CR70s.
Yeah, or a Venator,
or an Acclimator,
yeah.
But I mean, the officer slot is super contested.
Yeah.
I would put him on a CR70 where you want to go in, you like deploy at speed 4 for the CR70. You get to the objective, you stop him.
Right.
Yeah.
Really funny card.
Yeah, he's just a funny card.
I don't think it's incredible on any of the current Republic ships.
Who is Clone Captain Silver's captain? Who is his Jedi?
I don't know.
Who is Clone Captain Silver's Jedi? Can anybody find this man's Jedi? Is he Windows Jedi?
He was on a Pelta class frigate during the Clone Wars, so I guess it makes sense that he's on it. And Mace Windu told him to go back to the medical station and wait for them, so he went very fast.
Is this a clone captain without a Jedi?
I think he's Mace's Jedi.
I don't think. Sad, he doesn't have a Jedi.
I think he's Mace's Jedi. Anyway, last card here is Adi Gallia. While defending, when you suffer damage from an attack, you may suffer up to 1 of that damage on the shields of a hold zone adjacent to the hold zone that's defending for each defense token you spent during the spend defense token step. If you do suffer any remaining damage on the defending hold zone. Let me tell you something about this, okay? This is going to take Obi-Wan to the next level that expert shield techs only dreamed of.
Fuck this card.
Yeah.
Look, you put this on Obi-Wan's ship with expert shield techs.
No, it's both officer.
Oh, they're both officer?
Expert shield techs is an officer.
I thought that was Gunner.
No.
Okay, so you would take Adi Gallia over expert shield techs?
Maybe yes.
Because Adi Gallia is still taking the damage. She's just moving it. Expert shield techs at least deletes it.
Maybe this is not going with Obi-Wan.
Does the Republic have any ships that don't have redirects?
No. But maybe your redirect is getting blocked? She doesn't care about that.
When you use Obi-Wan's redirect, do you still get to redirect?
Yes. It's when you expert shield text that you don't get to redirect.
Okay.
So maybe she is...
I guess it's like a different option. I don't know. It seems...
Like, it weird. Gets around XI7. Right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Because does XI7 call out redirect specifically? As like, I stop redirect?
Let's see. I'll find out. Yeah. XI7 only refers to redirects. So this does get around XI7.
Which is cool.
That is cool.
It's like a meta pill. God, I felt like this would go good with expert shield text at the same time, but we need a ship with 2 officer slots. And then you put Obi-Wan on it, and then you put expert shield text on it, right? So then...
But we know that the Venator does not come with 2 officers like we predicted it would.
Did we see both Venators upgrade lists? No, because then you would have conceded the double offensive retrofit to me.
Oh, that's right. The
we
Venator
haven't
2,
seen
I guess,
the Venator
could have
2 yet.
Double officer.
And double offensive, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think, especially with the alarm, there's no way that can happen. You know?
Yeah. So, Adi Gallia.
I don't even think that the Venator 2 should come with an offensive retrofit now because of Yularen.
So you can't take boosted comms on it?
No, you can't take expanded hangar bay.
But they're the same slot. They're the same slot. That's the thing.
What do you mean? I'm not worried about boosted comms. I'm worried about expanded hangar bay.
I know, but what I'm telling you
I don't think that the Venator 2 will come with offensive retrofit.
All right, you guys heard this cold ass take.
It's not going to come with it. It can't. Impact. Look, the Venator 1 has offensive retrofit already.
Yeah.
It has 3 squadron.
Yeah.
Which means with expanded hangar bay, it's getting to 6.
With Yularen.
With Yularen.
Okay.
Okay?
And
you can't have a Venator 2 that has 5 squadron and say, nah, this isn't enough. We need 8 with Yularen.
We do need 8, though. We do need 8.
It's in the same wave cycle. So it's not like they're saying, oh, this will be fine. 8 all at once.
It will be fine. For me. For me.
It's not going to be good. I'm just saying. I think Adigalia is weird.
So,
She's like a good counter to XI7s and all. It's fine.
well, yes,
It essentially says 3 points.
but
Counter
also,
XI7.
like, she's kind of almost an advanced projectors. Because let's say that I'm getting shot on my front arc.
Well, yeah, because Adigalia, let's say I'm shooting at you with an ISD with XI7s.
Mhm.
Adigalia uses her lightsaber to deflect the two damage to one hull zone. Well, you brace redirect. So you redirect 1 on one hull zone, Adigalia 2 on the other. There you go.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
good.
you take whatever's left on the front.
It's good.
It is good.
Because she can't be accuracy.
No, I think,
You could even spend your salvo just to make Addy stronger, you know?
yeah, that's true. And if you were going to spend it anyway,
Right.
I think Adigalia is good with Obi-Wan and or Bail
For the engineering.
with engineering to get back the shields so that she consistently.
Remember when you were
useful.
like, how many times would a ship run out of shields? If Adigalia is on it, it's probably running out of shields.
Probably running out. Yeah. She seemed like a good card. She's cheap, only 3 points.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's fine. I would probably take her over Expert Shield Techs. Because, like, if you do take that heavy hit, Expert Shield Techs still is only reducing it by 1. Then you can't redirect anymore.
Right.
And now Adigalia, you spread it over 3 shields.
Yeah. It's kind of advanced projectors and kind of also countering XI7s, right?
Yeah. I think it's good. I think it's a good card.
Yeah, it's cool. All right. Well, is that the show? Is that what we've got?
Yep. I think that's it.
Alrighty, ta-ta for now.